Jukka pyysi, että mä muutaman sanan sanoisin tähän alkuun. Eli mun nimi on Erik Pispa ja voisi sanoa, että melkein, katson nopeasti, niin melkein kaikkien kanssa on ollut tekemisissä tässä täällä olijoiden kanssa. Ja mä tulen semmoisesta organisaatiosta tosiaan kuin Suomen valmentajat ry, jonka on nyt esimerkiksi tällä kertaa tuonut jälleen kerran ruunin Suomeen. Ja viikon verran mies on täällä ja aika kiireinen aikataulu on rakennettu, mutta osittain hänen omasta pyynnöstään. Ja mä oon toiminut tämmöisen sivutoimisena Suomen managerina ja myynyt sitä ympäri ämpäri Suomeen. Se oli lauantaina, sunnuntaina Tampereella ja sieltä sitten meni Turkuun, oli maanantai siellä ja tuli viime yönä takaisin ja mulla on tänään oltiin Olympiakomiteassa pitämässä palaveria ja nyt tänään sitten tää iltahamma menee täällä erällä. Huomenna aamuna puhuu Märskyssä, Märskyn urheilijoille ja valmentajille. Illalla vetää meille tilaisuuden ja sama juttu torstai-aamu ja ilta ja perjantaina mennään puhumaan Olympiakomitean valmentajaseminaariin Vierumäelle. Ja sitten se lähtee kotiin. Se oli niin paljon ja sen verran tausta, että viimeksi vuosi sitten kun Runi oli Suomessa, niin se oli pitämässä täällä näin, niin miesten edustusjoukkueelle pienen tämmöisen esittelypuheen tai puhu pikkasen harjoittelemisesta, motivoinnista ja kaikkeen tähän treenaamiseen liittyvistä asioista. Sen verran taustaa, että tulee semmoisesta organisaatiosta kuin Pariisin Speed School, joka on 61 franchising periaatteella toimivaa paikkaa eri puolilla Yhdysvaltoja. Ja Martin on toinen osakas siitä ja tavallaan rakentanut sen sisällön, mikä siellä Pariisin Speed Schoolissa on. Eli harjoituskeskus, jossa kehitetään urheilijoiden fyysisiä valmiuksia. Ja on tehnyt useamman vuoden töitä ammattiurheilijoiden, huippu-urheilijoiden kanssa, olympiatason urheilijoiden kanssa, tehnyt olympiakultamitalistien ja olympiamitalistien kanssa hommia ja erikoistunut voiman nopeuden kehittämiseen. Viimeiset vuodet tehnyt hirveän paljon töitä kamppailulajiurheilijoiden kanssa myös ja rakentanut siihen tällaisen oman Training for Warriors harjoitussysteemin ja se on niin toinen tämmöinen systeemi, mitä hän niin vie eteenpäin. Kaikki fyysisen ominaisuuksien kehittämistä ja motivointi ja tämmöinen, ei ehkä niinkään se, mitä nyt tänään puhuu tässä teille, niin ei niinkään puhu, että mitkä on hyviä harjoitteita, vaan ehkä se, että mitä niitä asioita pitäisi tehdä. Ja kannattaa pitää korvat hörryllä. Tulee aika paljon hyvää asiaa.
Se työtyy vähän pöytää tänne, vähän isommin.
Niin, nappaa.
We could maybe turn the lights a little too.
Yeah. Okay.
It's better?
Yeah.
All right. Moi moi.
Moi moi.
I don't know what he just said, but it always makes me nervous because everybody's really quiet when he says those things.
That's good.
Yeah, hopefully. But again, me many on Martin Rooney, and that will probably be all the finish I say for the rest. But today we have some really, really important stuff to talk about. You know, when Mika asked, he said, man, can you come and speak to the coaches? And, and I said, well, which coaches do you mean? Because on Friday I'll be speaking for all of the Olympic coaches in Finland. And he said, no, not those coaches. We want to talk to the coaches of the young kids, the coaches of the teams of the kids that someday will make up those Olympic teams. Can you come talk to them? And I said, man, can I come talk to them? That's the most important people I can be talking to. Because see, the Olympic coaches, that's going to be tough. When I tell them they need to change, what do you think they're going to say? They're going to say, what are you talking about? I'm an Olympic coach. What do I need to change? I'm at the top. Staying right how I am. But here's the thing, you laugh, but you're staying how you are? Not winning medals? Being happy with second place? Saying, Finland, we only have 5.5 million people, it's really cold, we don't have the resources, somebody else will win. Now see, that way of thinking, that's old. It's time to get to the new stuff. See, and that's what I've been bringing to Finland now almost 4 years, and it's the truth. Now, my challenge, if you see what it says up there, because already you might have had a thought in your head, right? I always say, everybody has this voice in their head. You might say, oh man, what's this guy talking about? You know, oh, you know, change, no, I'm going to stay how I keep doing it. He's crazy. He doesn't know. But let me give you a little story. There was a professor, and he was studying Eastern philosophy, you know, Japanese Zen. And he'd studied it his whole life. And he said, man, if I could only meet this one guy, there's this one master in Japan. He's the best ever in Zen. I just need to meet with him. And every year he would contact him, every year. And the master would say, no, I have no time, no, I have no time. Finally, he says, you can come and you can have 1 hour with me. He says, great. So the professor flies all the way to Japan, and the Zen master says, we're going to sit down and we're going to have some tea. And before the professor's butt even hit the seat, he was already going. Hey, Zen master, I think this, and I think that, and I think this, and I think this guy's wrong, and that guy's right, and this guy's stupid, and this guy's smart. I know everything about Zen, and this and that, and this. And the Zen master is just slowly pouring the tea as he's talking. Pouring and pouring until the cup starts to fill, and then the cup spills over, and the cup overflows, and the boiling water is falling on the guy's feet, and he still can't understand. He says, and I think this, and I think that. And he's like, Zen master, you can't put any more in that cup. It's already full. And he put the cup back down, and he said, you see, professor, you're just like this cup. Until you empty some stuff out, I can't put anything in there. You're already filled up. Now, here's the challenge today. If my message is going to work, you got to empty out the cup, man. If you're going to already think, hey, Finland can't be great, and I'm only a coach at this level, and I'm working with these kids, and these kids suck, and this is no good, and this is no fun, then that's what you're going to get. And you know what? Then those kids won't be in sports, and they won't think they can win a gold medal someday. You know whose fault it'll be? It'll be your fault. See, the most important thing to me, the most important career is coaching. And I'm passionate about it because I know the impact that it has and what it doesn't have. And I'm going to tell you a story that means a lot to me about coaching. You see that guy? Look at how good looking this kid is. Such a good looking kid. That was me when I was 15. I had just won, which was almost like not a national championship, but close in the javelin throw. Javelin was my life. That's why it's kind of funny. Finland, javelin. You know the two sports I played? Ice hockey and javelin. That's what I did. So it's almost like I was a Finnish guy living in America. And when I won that championship that day, I could have took a picture with my parents. Because see, I'm old. Like, that picture, it wasn't a digital camera that you get to take it, oh, it's no good, gone, no good. That camera, you went click, and then you took it to a store, gave them the film, and hoped and prayed that the picture came out good. And so I only had one shot I could take. I didn't take it with my parents. I didn't take the picture with my friends. I didn't take the picture with my family. I took the picture with the guy that was the most important person to me at the time, and that was my coach. And let me tell you how I met my coach. Ready? I thought when I was a kid, like every American kid thinks, I was going to be a pro baseball player. I just knew it. I was going to be a pro baseball player. I just knew it. I knew it. I knew it. Until I got to high school, and they said, the first day of practice, we hate to tell everyone, but if you're not the oldest kid, a senior, you're not making the team. So, I said, for 3 years, I'm not going to play that sport anymore. I was crushed. So that's one example of bad coaching, by the way. And there was this guy, this chubby guy, standing outside the door where all the kids were walking out when they found out they didn't make it. And he'd say, hey, kid, you look perfect for track and field. You want to try it? The kid would say no, and he'd walk by. And he'd be like, hey, kid, you look perfect for track and field. You want to try it? No. And then, you know what he said when I came up to the door? He said, hey, kid, you look perfect for track and field. And I said, track and field? What's that? And he said, you know, running and jumping. I said, running and jumping, that's kind of funny. He goes, and they throw stuff. And I said, you throw stuff? What kind of stuff do you throw? And he says, we throw a big heavy ball, and they throw a thing that looks like a heavy frisbee. I was like, yeah, that doesn't sound so cool. And then he goes, but then they throw this spear, like a hunting spear. I said, wow, that sounds pretty cool. and I went out for track. And this guy took an interest in me. And he saw that I had certain talents and skills and explosiveness, and he taught me how to lift, and he taught me how to train, and we won a lot of championships together. In particular, one thing I'll always remember is, before there were the days of eating well before a competition and after competition, which everybody should be doing now, and hopefully you're preaching that to your athletes, that that's the most important meal of the day. How I learned about nutrition in sport was I had this huge meet, and I was getting what everybody should get right before a huge meet, right? A big hot dog. So I had this big hot dog, and I had just paid for it, and I was about to take a bite, and my coach goes, "Are you nuts?" He took the hot dog from me, he goes, "A hot dog is one of the worst things you can eat before a competition. Do you know what's in a hot dog?" I said, "No." He said, "It's all the poison and all the crap that is left over after they take all the meat and then they make it into a hot dog." And when he said this, I took it back and I was looking for a garbage to run into the garbage as fast as I can. And he goes, "Are you nuts?" He goes, and he takes it back, he goes, "You just paid for this hot dog." He goes, "And I like my hot dog with mustard." So he made me go get mustard and he ate my hot dog. He said, "I don't have a competition today." But what was the story, and it's going to get deeper, is first, did you see how much interest he took? The guy took interest and he was passionate about his sport, and he just wanted to get people into the sport. And then he was so passionate about his athletes and making sure that they got the right message all the time. Now, the story continues. I got a track and field scholarship to college. And I went to a university that I thought the coach knew what he was doing. The coach didn't know anything about the weight events, the javelin or anything. So I got there and now I had no coach. So I started to research biomechanics. I got my degree in exercise physiology. I graduated. I did well, but not as good as I think I could have. I didn't reach my potential, which is the key as a coach. And then I was on the U.S. bobsled team. Does anybody know the bobsled? Because they were looking for ex-track and field guys in our country. I went out, I made the team, and now for 4 years I lived at the Olympic Training Center. And I got no coaching there either. It was actually the worst coaching. So I had real good coaching, less coaching, no coaching. I was never so injured, I was never so destroyed, and I never watched more coaches fight over money and this and that and never take an interest at all in their athletes. But see, then I got a degree in physical therapy at the medical school. I started to study and study, and I was still throwing, so I was always studying, and I started to realize, man, I know so much more now than that coach, than my coach, that even when I was with him,